Thank you. I appreciate that introduction. And more importantly, I appreciate you, David, for who you are as a leader and for your vision and inspiration to start DAC so that we all have this incredible opportunity. Let me get into today and then I'll share a funding story with you guys. But my title today is Finish Strong to Start Stronger. And that's finishing this year so that we get off to a better start for next year. But, David's message yesterday was about being an encourager. And my message is going to be encouraging you today. If you don't already have pen and paper, you're going to want to grab something to write with because I'm going to give you a few things to do a little bit of homework as soon as we get off of this call. And you want to be able to write down what I'm instructing you to do. But let me get into our funding story first. We have a home health care company in Connecticut where our broker is Whitney Miller. The client that they brought to the table has really good credit. However, their monthly revenue and cash flow over the past 3 months was $32,000 in September. They had one negative bank day and ended the month with $7.86 balance. Then in October, they did $40,000 for the month. They had two negative bank days and 2 days under $50 in daily balance. And then in November, their sales went down to 26,000, again with two negative bank days and 5 days of daily balance under $50. So this business is really struggling with cash flow, but with the Bank Breezy connections and our network of lenders, we were able to get them an offer for $40,000 flex rate over 11 months at a 1.41 rate. The client accepted that offer last night, and we're in the process of conducting the bank verification and funding call this morning. Wade's probably on with us and may have an update on that. If he does, that's fine to chime in here. But congratulations again to Whitney Miller for bringing that client to the table. As you can tell, what I shared about that client's financial situation, we learned that 60% of businesses are either breaking even or losing money. And this is a prime example. They've got significant cash flow each month, but day to day, they're spending every penny that comes into their account. And that's the way most businesses are. So when you think about what we have to offer to help small businesses that are struggling for cash and can't get approved at the bank, we can be that life-saving opportunity for them. Okay, so to get into today's message, and as your quarterback, finishing strong to start stronger. Every year I typically gain about 10 pounds over the holidays. And I promise that this story is going to lead into what my message is today. But this year, I decided that I wanted to get ahead of that. And I wanted to put myself into a better position physically than I typically do after going through Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I got ahead of it and I decided to finish this year strong and healthier than I ever have through the holidays. So about 2 months ago, I started tracking my food again, being diligent about using MyFitnessPal and tracking my calories and my macros and all those things that I had been doing sporadically, but I was working out at the gym and having great success with my workout. So I wasn't tracking my food the way I should, but I started doing that, paying really close attention to what I was doing, what was working for me, and what was not working for me as I'm checking my meals and checking my weight on a daily basis. And with that, I am at the lowest weight that I have been since I was probably in high school. So I'm winning as I'm going through the holidays here. And when I start New Year's, as most people are doing New Year's resolutions, mine's already knocked out of the way. Okay. Now I'll tell you that story because I want you to be looking at your DAC business and everything that's going on in your life right now so that you can do a few things today as an exercise to get you off to a good start for the new year. Okay. So what I want you to do is write down this question. Where did you win in 2025? What did you do in 2025 that was a big win for you? It doesn't necessarily have to be DAC. As I shared last week, I want you to think about the successes that you've had outside of DAC and different times in your life where you succeeded and take that information and what it was that you were doing to help you succeed and apply that to DAC, right? But where did you win in 2025? And as you list that, go back to what was it that caused me to have that big win, okay? All right, and then I want you to write this down. Where did I drift off track in 2025? So where did you win and where did you drift off track? You see, as I stated on what I'm doing just on my weight and tracking those calories and stuff, it's easy to get off track if you're not keeping track of what you're doing. If you're making contacts with people, but you don't have a system in place and you're not tracking in a spreadsheet or have a CRM, a contact management system that you're using, it's easy to really get off track and be inconsistent with your DAC business, right? So where did you get off track? And as you write this down on your wins, the wins are usually an easy thing to write down and go, oh yeah, I did this and I did this and that was great. But when it comes down to where did you get off track, sometimes it's really hard. But I want you to be honest with yourself. This is for your information only. Nobody else is going to ask for that report unless you want to share it here. You're welcome to do that. But write it down and be honest with yourself. Where did you get off track for 2025? But here's the challenge. Here's the really hard challenge. After you go through those, what must change? In other words, what have you been tolerating about yourself and your activities or your surroundings this year that are preventing you from hitting the goals and achieving what you know you're capable of? What is it that you must change going into the new year? Okay. And as we go back to David's message yesterday about encouragement, I know that each one of you listening on this call today, or whether you're here live or whether you're here on replay, you have the ability to make 2026 your best year ever. You wouldn't be showing up on these calls and you wouldn't be taking time out of your day if you did not want to succeed, right? So I know you've got it in you that if you'll just go through this exercise, write down where did you win, where did you get off track, and what must change? What are you not going to tolerate about 2020 moving into 2026 that's going to give you that big victory that I know is right around the corner for each and every one of you if you'll just implement the things that we talk about on our huddles every day and the things that we train in our training. This is a really simple business, very simple, but it's not easy. The easy part or the not easy part comes in because you have to take action and you have to take steps to succeed. But I know you've got it in you, and I wish each and every one of you to have the best year ever coming up in 2026. So finish this year strong and take that momentum as we move into the new year. Reach out to people over the holidays. Be honest with yourself and know what you need to do and what you're no longer going to tolerate as you move into the new year.